So you're saving a better engine. So your engine will be better if you get a new car or truck.
Like the great Winston Churchill once said, if you're going through hell, just keep going. I'm not sure this project is comparable to hell, but let's just say my relationship with this Frontier has been tested and is currently in a questionable state. I'm not sure yet whether I'll end up hating this truck or loving it, but one thing remains clear. The only way to find out is to keep moving forward. As far as the manual swap is concerned, we are in the 11th hour. Aside from some basic assembly, only one task remains before this truck can truly be considered a manual: wiring it up. Today we're starting things off by harvesting some parts from my old 2005 Frontier. Specifically today we're after the ECU and the engine wiring harness. I'm attempting to do a bit of a dance between trying to keep as much of the original 09 Frontier the same as I can, but also wanting to keep as much of this 2005 engine and transmission the same for familiarity's sake. That's why I'm pulling this ECU and harness today. Not to mention the fact that the old ECU was meant for an automatic, and so its bearings would kind of be all over the place. I don't think it would know what's going on when I'm trying to shift gears. I think this one's gonna work a lot better. And the engine is already very well acquainted with it, as well as this wiring harness right here. With that being said, pretty much everything from engine and transmission back, I want to keep original to the 09, but we'll get into that more later in the video. It feels really good to be at this stage in the project. It feels like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, at least in regards to getting this thing fired up again. I just gotta figure out how this thing all goes back together. I mean, it doesn't feel like I took it apart that long ago, but when you're staring it all down, sometimes it's not as obvious as you might think it is. That being said, I'm taking my time, and I'm glad that I had the foresight to go through and make very detailed labels, kind of, anyway. There's a few components that I hadn't gotten around to installing yet, some that I'm excited about, like the Z1 off-road ignition coils. As well as a Z1 off-road intake manifold spacer. Apparently it could add up to 10 horsepower, which is pretty crazy for just a chunk of aluminum. For a lot of these plastic components like this intake manifold, I like to polish them up. I like this product mostly because of the exterior on the front. I also got this hose set from Z1. I don't know where half of them go, so I'm just kind of figuring out along the way. I'm a huge advocate of staying organized and labeling things as you go, especially when you're ripping apart two trucks at once. It can be overwhelming, so I cannot preach this message enough. Label your stuff. I almost forgot, these throttle bodies are prone to getting all full of soot and just super dirty in general. Adding them to your regular maintenance list and just dousing them with some brake clean is not a bad idea. I obviously don't have an automatic transmission in this truck anymore, so there's really no need for this automatic transmission cooler. So out it comes. This high flow air filter allows air to enter right from the top, which is right in line with the air intake on the Frontier engine bay anyway. So unlike the K&N, which is essentially just a big steel plate on top. Now it's time to fill up some of the fluids and allow for some bleeds and burps. I'm using some OEM stuff and some Lucas oil products. I'm also using this pump which I got, which is really handy for tight spaces like this transfer case. What's happening, squad? Welcome back. We are at a critical junction point here where we are trying to figure out the wiring to allow this truck to run as a 6-speed manual transmission. Let's break it down in bullet point form. That's kind of the way my brain likes to operate. We've got a 2009 Nissan Frontier. We've got a 2005 engine and a 2005 manual transmission. Okay, so how do we marry these two systems together from an electrical standpoint? The best possible way. There's a lot of ways you do things. As I'm starting to realize, I'm just trying to figure out, okay, what is the best way that's gonna make the most sense, that's gonna make this truck run the happiest? To be honest, I don't really know which way that is yet. Okay, so I have decided, okay, so let's we've got our ECU here. This is the 2009 that I pulled out of this truck initially. This one was set up for a automatic transmission, so therefore I'm not using it. But out of the ECU, you've got 2 ports for 2 harnesses. This is your main body harness, which kind of goes through the firewall into the cab and snakes all the way through the cab and is responsible for a lot of your features in there. This is the one that we're concerned about. This is your port for your engine harness. So I've decided to use my ECU for my 2005 to go along with my 2005 engine. I've decided to use my engine harness for my 2005 to go with the engine. I have decided to go with the main body harness out of this truck initially for 2 reasons. Number 1, I don't want to sound lazy, but it's a ton of work to get it out because it literally snakes throughout the whole cab. So I'd have to rip apart the entire interior, which why work harder when you can work smarter? I don't really want to do that. I might have to because I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I think it is. The second reason that I decided to use the original main body harness was because I got a lot of features in this truck that I didn't have on my 2005. I got like a sunroof, I got like heated seats and all these kinds of things. And I'm not entirely sure, but I am fairly confident that if I remove this harness and I put the harness from the 2005, I'm gonna have a lot of figuring out to get those features back up to speed and to get them to work one day. Whereas everything is already kind of built in and integrated in the main body harness already. So if I can keep that in place, hopefully plug and play into the new ECU, then that's great. And a lot of that stuff is controlled by the BCM anyway, which I want. Let's talk about the BCM for a second. BCM, fingers crossed, I'm gonna be keeping original for this truck. This is the BCM from the 2005 that came with the engine and transmission. I have it here. Keep your spare parts because you never know what's gonna happen. That's kind of what I'm learning. Just keep everything as far as this kind of stuff is concerned because it's good to have it. So, we're gonna use the engine harness from the 05, main body harness from this 2009, ECU from the 2005. The question is though, let's revisit that main body harness. So the reason I wanna use it is because there's a lot of features that it is responsible for operating in this truck, like the things we talked about, sunroof and all those kinds of odds and sods. One of the other things though, unfortunately, it is responsible for handling in the manual, the clutch safety switch, which is necessary in order to allow this truck to start if you're running it as a manual, because the system needs to be closed. It needs to send power. When you depress your clutch in a manual transmission, that closes the system and sends power to your IPDM, which is essentially the smart junction box right over here, which gives your vehicle the signal that it requires to essentially turn the keys and start up. I don't have that because that clutch safety switch is actually located in the main body harness. But like for the reasons we talked about already, I am using the original main body harness, which means I don't have that in this truck. So the question is, how do I send power to that part of the IPDM that it requires in order to trick it into thinking that I can start it? So with the help of my new friend, Chris, who actually bought my automatic transmission. He used to be a tech at Nissan, and he's been so cool and helpful. He sent me some manuals and stuff. So together we kind of built a bit of a game plan. We decided the best route forward would be to figure out which wire power is being sent to through the wiring diagram when you depress your clutch on a manual. Which wire is the signal getting sent through to your IPDM to essentially allow your truck to start? So we figured out which wire that is. It's wire number 48. Used my power probe, hooked it up, decided to shoot wire number 48 with some 12 volts off of my battery. Let's find out what happens. Okay, so unfortunately, it looks like someone's been in here before. They clearly have some sort of relay set up in here. Looks to be like it is some sort of remote start system because it's also tied into my ignition up front. First things first, I want to clean up the wiring and get rid of whatever we don't need. Okay, here's wire number 48. I'm just clearing some of the housing away. And I've got these piggyback fuses that have a built-in lead, which is really cool. I'll show you what I'm doing with them in just a second. I had a strange coworker borrow my multimeter once and never give it back. So I decided to buy this power probe from Amazon. It's a pretty awesome little tool. It's just over 40 bucks. You hook it up to your 12 volt battery. You can send power. You can check for grounds. It's got a built-in light up front, which is awesome. And it's got a pointy tip so you can puncture wires. You don't even need to strip them to check them. I currently have the keys set in the on position and I'm looking for power in that on position through one of these spare fuses in the IPDM. Looks like I found one already, which is awesome. Now that I've got a good fuse to use, I'm gonna tie in this piggyback fuse and use the lead to send power to wire number 48. If it works, I'll be soldering these two wires together. I'm just looking through everything one more time to hopefully prevent something from blowing up or getting caught. I'm getting a little nervous, to be honest with you. My heart's pounding. Bear in mind, this truck has not run in 9 months.